welcome back to the podcast, Rocket Table Talk.
Hey, friends.
Sorry for last week how we just didn't record anything.
Nope.
It's been pretty hectic as we both work in retail.
And you were very sick.
And I'm still kind of sick. I don't know if it's coming across through my voice, but I was not able to talk.
You could not.
So this week we're back again. It's that Christmas period, so it's hard to get that time across to actually do anything. Yeah. What if I hold the microphone like this?
Look so weird.
Do I look cute?
No, you do not.
Oh, wow. Rude.
Heads up, next week we probably will not be posting another podcast as it is Boxing Day. And again, we both work retail, so we do not have our normal day off to record. Doug has said that he might be posting a video to all of you. We'll see if that happens. That was you, but it was you. Speaking of, what did we do today?
So which one's Star Wars? It was great.
It was. I really liked it.
Should we start a Star Wars podcast?
No, because I am not knowledgeable enough and people will just rip me to shreds.
We don't know about D&D either. That's why we started this thing, is to find out more stuff.
We're going to start a GoFundMe page to fund us to make a Star Wars podcast.
Please, totally kidding. Please support us on Patreon. Get access first to our new Star Wars podcast coming out bi-monthly. So every 2 weeks.
It's not going to happen.
Where we talk, no, God no. So we actually just got a big shipment of minis. If you follow us on social media,
I was going to show the box, but that's not the minis.
So yeah, if you follow us on social media, on Instagram and Twitter, we posted a photo of our big shipment.
Yeah, we did. We bought a lot of minis
of the Series 10.
Series 10,
unpainted
we bought
ones.
I think it was 20 out of the 36 that came out,
which equates to about $200 Australian.
It is
for that. And there's still a few that I didn't even realize was the Bone Golem was in that one.
Yep. We haven't got him yet.
The demon dude. There's like a big demon guy with a sword. I don't know.
Don't have him yet either.
Well, when they come in,
we can't get it.
We're going to be broke.
Imaginary Adventures have already sold out as well.
Well, there you go. Pre-sold out, have they?
And it just sold out.
Damn.
Or I don't know if it's pre-sold out. But speaking of Imaginary.
Yes, you got a shipment from them. This is not sponsored yet.
But I'm pretty thrilled because I have a problem with my dice. So guess what I did? I bought new dice. 2 new sets of dice that probably look like
the same as the other several sets.
And we got the bears.
2 of them. Yeah, nice. So more minis that, even though I said we're going to stop for a while.
Yeah, I forgot that I did these. It is under polar bear. One will be a polar bear and one will be a grizzly bear.
Can you not destroy
I realized I threw it at the wall. I'm so sorry.
Stop.
So dice.
Show us the dice. Let's see what it looks like.
This is for all you ASMR freaks out there. I will say I do like how they package the products. They always come beautiful, and they do come in this like cute little black dice bag.
What color is that?
These ones are white with gold.
Gold flakes.
Yep.
Perfect for the Christmas period. If anyone's looking for any dice, head over to your local game store or online dealer.
Let's see if it's lucky. We'll roll all the other dice. It's a 3, a 4, a 7, a 6, a 3, and a 4. Oh, it's a 4 on the D4. And then let's see if I can get a magic roll out of this D20. 13 is not too bad. Not mad.
So I'm going to open this second packet.
Yep.
This is be quiet for the ASMR.
It's like you're undressing me, but with sound.
That was a good 20-second segment of just unwrapping a paper.
And still going. In the Imaginary Adventures.
You have 2 sets of dice in this one.
Look, I buy so many dice, it's probably correct, and I just have forgotten.
What the fuck did you buy?
I don't.
So in my left hand, we have a pink set with gold numbers. And in my right hand, we have a pink set with gold numbers. Are these limited edition by any chance?
No, just because I have a problem with dice.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, they look like bubblegum. Hopefully they're more lucky than my other bubblegum set that I have.
Yes. Can we just can we clip that and repeat it where other bubblegum set, you've already owned the multiple.
I'm going to take out your red set from in here because I'm going to show everyone. I did this the other day with my friends who we play Dragon Heist with. They're like, how many dice do you have? And I tipped them all out. It's a lot. But look how pretty they look. Oh, it's a 15. Woo. I'm already dropping them. Let's see those ones.
Sure.
Oh, they're so pretty.
I think you own this pair already.
No, I definitely don't, because I have to go through my history and check what I haven't purchased just in case I repurchase.
I don't know if that's good or
Oh,
not.
it's a nat 1.
So this is not a good set of dice.
But they're so pretty. For all you people out there watching on the video, the other day I told Doug, I was like, I think I've hit my limit for dice.
Only because the capacity of your dice bag, the largest one that they sell, is full.
Yeah, because the other day I had 3 different boxes of shipment that came through with 6 sets of dice altogether.
Jesus.
So we're just gonna
Far out.
Yep.
I can't fathom how much you have until they
That
all
happened.
just get poured out.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
Yep. So I'm going to be posting on our Instagram the amount of dice that I own. You see this and you think these are just the dice that I've bought. I've also bought most of your set as well because I kept buying dice and went, I don't like these colors for me, but Doug might, even though Doug's like, I'm fine with the dice set that I have.
I have, I think, 6 sets of dice and 4 of them are just excess of yours.
Yeah.
Cool. So you should take that picture now before we ruin it. That actually looks really cute with the elder brain in the background. Another purchase
With a
that
nat
you made.
20.
One
of the
50.
many dice was going to have to be a nat 20. Like, I wonder how many others. I got a 16 there. 4. I don't know. A 10. I got a lot of dice.
So
Here,
the reason we're doing this is because we're actually going to talk a bit further in depth or a bit more about the different ways to play D&D, which is a previous episode of ours. And we're going to be talking
just some other stuff.
Just some
part
other
2,
stuff.
because we realized that we didn't actually cover everything. We had a few people talk about other ways that they play and we didn't reach every topic. So we're just going to keep going. And I think we should honestly start with the first one. Dice.
So we touched on dice and the different ways that you can do dice in our last episode, like digital dice.
Yes.
But then you wouldn't get the satisfaction
Yeah.
of collecting the billions and billions of sets. The one thing I'll say this, and this is a big regret of ours, is we didn't keep the Chessex boxes for each individual set.
No, we threw away. We started to, and then I kept going.
Yeah.
But a lot of the sets that I buy actually don't come with the boxes anymore. They
Yeah.
ship them in
Little baggies.
these, beautiful
Because
baggies.
I'd wish that we had kept them and then put them on like a display.
Yeah.
And just have like, ooh, we can see all the different sets that we own.
Yeah. Some people do. I've seen like if you Pinterest and then dice, people just have walls
Of dice.
of like boxes of dice, which is really cool.
Yeah. That's something that I wish we did, is what I'm trying to say. Because it would look sick.
Yeah, a lot of different people as well. I've one of my friends who I play with, Locke. He buys dice for each of the characters that he plays. So he has my character fits this color and this is how I represent him. But he'll only use 2 sets at a time. So then if we play another campaign
Like
together,
a civilized person.
yeah, no, not me.
Yeah. Keep going. Sorry to interrupt. Sorry, Locke.
So his character at the moment is a Tabaxi rogue, and he has a black set and then 2 D20s that are silver, and it's because his Tabaxi's also black, very similar to Mittens, but
So it's like a panther?
yeah.
Or he's just a black
So
cat?
it's supposed to just go with it, which I think is a really interesting way. It's a better excuse to keep buying dice, but then you actually are limited to only buying them when you're playing that character. So if you're playing a long campaign, you only need the 1 set because you're only playing with the 1 character. Whereas I lug this bad boy around.
Yeah, your shoulders are getting less sloppy now because you're just lugging around kilos of just dice.
How'd you get so thick? Dice, baby.
Yeah, holding them dice.
Holding them dice all the times. No, I'm actually requesting a friend to make me another dice bag so I can separate my dark dice from my light ones, so I can have them separate.
And then eventually you'll be separating your pinks from your pinks.
Yeah.
So like you have the transparent pinks with your solid pinks.
Yep, and then off pinks, and then non-glitter pinks with glitter pinks.
So in case anyone was wondering, Jasmine likes the color pink.
It's my favorite.
Yeah.
I normally dye my hair reddish pink so it fades, but
With the dice that you purchase.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've got the aesthetic going. I didn't even wear my
Aesthetic.
D&D shirt today that I got from Imaginary either. I forgot.
Another thing that you've purchased and said you were
Guess
going to
what
stop
colour
buying.
the dice is?
Is it pink?
It's pink.
Yeah. So we're
wear
on
that one
the
next
on
week.
the extreme end of the spectrum when it comes to the dice obsession. What are they called? The
Dice goblins with the clickety clack stones.
I was going to say the mathematics stones.
Mathematics stones
Yeah.
is a nice one. No, I like it. I'm a dice goblin because I like the clickety clack noise.
Yeah, no, it's very satisfying. That's why I wanted to venture into like 40k.
Yeah.
Because or like Warhammer in general.
It's like 30 dice.
It's 30 dice, and it's just all d6s, and you just go.
You could demonstrate.
Nah, I think we've done enough ASMR. Like, I don't know if our audience would like that. Cool. We've got more guests coming around.
Yeah,
That's
your dad's
awesome.
not going to be impressed with where I parked.
Whatever. It's all right.
Yeah, dice are fantastic. And the other day on the internet, I was doing my daily scrolling and adding to cart, and someone has made an app that when you roll the dice, it adds up the numbers or it tells you what you've rolled.
That's only on that specific set of dice because it's like a
it's
digital
smart
dice.
dice,
Yeah.
which is super clever. Personally, I wouldn't want them, but I think that's a step in technology itself. I think that's really clever. It knows what the dice has rolled. So if you were for Warhammer, for instance, instead of having to add up those dice individually, you add the dice that you've got in your hand, you roll them, and it'll tell you what the total tally is.
Except in Warhammer, you don't add them all up. Yeah,
You
they're
add
all
some of
different.
them,
You
and
don't
some
add
of them
any
do
them.
different things. And
Yes, they're all different.
1 and 2 does this, 3 does this, 4 and 5 does this. Is that right?
Well, it's like to hit and stuff.
Yeah.
But each individual dice is like the individual person.
Yeah.
You wouldn't add up the 50 dice because otherwise
Well,
it's like,
at
yeah.
least then it could tell you how many 6s you've rolled and
Yeah.
how many 3s you've
No,
rolled.
that's fair. Yeah.
Which I think is really clever.
How much is that going for? Do you
Oh,
remember?
I didn't really have a look. I just watched the video and went, "This is bloody clever." Are you going to do it now?
I'm gonna
Yeah.
look it up. I want to let you keep talking, but I'm gonna...
So I think that's really clever. There's so much to do with dice, big dice, little dice. There's glass set that I've been eyeing off at the moment, and I've
And
told
those
myself that
precious material ones that
semi-precious ones are
that
gorgeous.
our colleague Jack has.
He only buys semi-precious or metal.
Good on him.
I don't think he owns a set that's less than $50.
So okay, so the Go Dice, which is on Kickstarter,
Yes, that's the one.
is currently raised 328,000 Australian, which is
Ooh.
awesome. With 28 days to go, with the minimum pledge going to be,
Is it that one?
I would say it's the $59 one. I'm not too sure if this is sold
Which
out
is
anyway.
pretty cool.
Yeah, that's sick. Oh, but you have to have like the app open.
Yeah, of course you do. How else are you supposed to tell?
I don't know.
It just tells you.
How does it work? So we're not trying to plug it. We're not
No.
endorsed by it, but that's
But
a
I mean,
really cool
if
thing.
you're listening, Go Dice. Was that what it's called?
Go Dice.
Hit us up. We'll do a sweet review.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't do like D20s and stuff. It's like a shell that you have to put the D6 in. So it's a D6 base, and then it can add up
I still
individual
think
ones.
that's clever because it's a whole like smart thing.
That's sick. That's
Yeah.
actually really cool.
It's really, really cool.
I
The
wouldn't
dice
buy it,
have-
but still.
No, I look. I'd consider it. It's really clever. It's something different.
But it's interesting about how the friend of yours, Locke, was it,
Mm.
who only buys the colors to match the character.
Mm-hmm.
Because like we have campaigns that go for
Months.
months and months and months.
Mhm.
Let's say, because we have a few friends or a few people that comment on our stuff saying they have one campaign that went for 10 years,
Yeah.
or like 6 years or
Yeah.
so. And imagine your obsession with dice, but only using 2 of them.
I couldn't do
You
that.
couldn't do
I
it.
could not do that.
That's yeah.
Every session you see me, I get my dice bag and I'll like scoop it up at a time and I'm like, I like you today. And I'll take that one.
Yeah.
And then, no, I've already got that color dice. And then I'll go and like for another scoop and I get like different ones. So every single set of dice
Yeah.
are all different sets.
Yeah.
I couldn't stick to just 2.
Yeah.
But some people can. Some people, like my friend Sophie, she doesn't bring any dice because she's like, enough of you have dice, I'll just borrow yours.
Yeah.
Which I can't share anymore. I've had dice not stolen, but lost in the process. And I couldn't do it. This one has blue in it.
Yeah, you've lost. I think when we first started D&D, it wasn't lost. It was just like misplaced.
Yeah.
And
They'd fallen onto couches and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. And they're gone for good. I couldn't tell you now if they're stolen or misplaced because I have enough.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
at the time when I only had 3 sets, I got upset because I'd lost a D8 and a D4, I think was the main ones. Moving on from dice. Dice are fun and everything, but there's other ones. Minis. We don't like minis. I'm totally kidding. I couldn't even finish that sentence.
Yeah, we're big on the minis. Huge on the minis.
We do love it. We should probably do another post as well where we show every single mini we've bought.
I don't think it will fit in one
photo.
It would
do
have
like
to be
a series,
lot.
which is really cool.
Yeah, I'm just looking across at like our bench of minis. Like
That's
we just
so
bought the
cute.
new Kraken one, right?
Oh, so nice.
the-
The Elder Braid's another new one.
Yeah, except for that's painted, and I'm okay with that.
Means we don't have to.
Which means we don't have to. Like, okay, we like painting.
Yeah.
So this is like a segue into painted minis versus unpainted minis. We like our painting. However, we still like getting the painted ones. And like, although the molds might not be the best, like it might have a crooked staff or it's like bent a little bit. I'd rather suffer on that aspect than not have to worry about painting this one mini.
Yeah.
We've got such a backlog. I think we used to have it at 50% painted to unpainted.
Yes, we did.
And now we're at like 10% painted to 90% unpainted.
Yeah.
Do
you want me to get it?
That's okay. I'll get it. I'm just going to pause this. Now we're back.
Wait.
Clapping to re-sync. Sorry, we had to answer the door because we're very popular and just people come around.
I know. Maybe it could have been another delivery.
Of dice?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know yet. Actually, we do know. It was not a delivery of dice.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to minis.
Yes. Painted versus unpainted versus the time that it takes.
So we talked a little bit about the painted versus unpainted, and awesome. You know, I love seeing things on Instagram and Pinterest of people having painted.
They're gorgeous.
Like that's like the big appeal to me, like as a collector of unpainted, make it my own, and like you'll see.
Make it your own.
Make it your own.
Make it your own.
Just paint it your own.
Not bake it.
No, not bake it. Yeah. Fuck you. I love when people have their own way of doing it. Like, for instance, there was a army, just a regular town guard. And I just I was like painting it next to you and I was like, fuck it. I want it to be pink. So I painted him pink.
He's cute.
And now I use him all the time, not because he's a good painted figure, but it's because
I
liked it. It was like, fuck you. It's pink now.
He's a pink boy. Yeah. His daughter made it for him. And you can make a whole backstory as to why he's pink.
Yep. And like, it's just like normally I paint green as like my armies.
You do love to paint him green.
I do.
A lot of our townspeople /
guards
are green.
Yeah. But this guy, I was like, nah, fuck ya.
He a pink boy. He could be the town guard.
And that's the big appeal. And then now I'm just looking across and on the other end, we have like the Demigorgon from the Stranger Things
first
D&D.
edition. Nope, that's first edition Demigorgon.
We have the first edition Demigorgon.
The Demigorgon is not from Stranger Things.
Yep, but we have the first edition Demigorgon because of the Stranger Things thing. It wasn't it some promotion and then we got it for free?
No, it was just because we spend a lot of money on it.
Okay.
And my work got them.
Yeah.
They were really
we
cute.
also have we love buying the Icons of the Realm blind boxes. That's a lot of fun.
They're so much fun.
The best one was the Descendant to Avernus, and we got the Demon Chicken.
Yeah, Abyssal Chicken.
That's
he
it.
was so cute.
And it wasn't even we're not going to use
now.
it.
Nope.
It's just like fuck it. It's a chicken that's a demon.
Yeah,
like,
it's
why
great.
not?
Oh, sorry.
This is dangerous. Avalanche.
Avalanche of dice. I'd be happy to die by an avalanche of dice.
And then with that as well as the terrain, and then we'll leave that into a bit.
We are a sucker for terrain.
One of your friends, one of the campaigns you're currently playing on right now, is using. So you're playing the Waterdeep campaign.
The Dragon Ice one. Yep. Shout out to Nick.
And you have paper minis.
We do. He printed minis.
Yes.
So I'm going to ramble for a bit. Really clever because one, it's still minis and it still has that element of having a physical representation of where everything is on the map, which I always am a fan of when it comes to playing. Not everyone is, but I am. But it also beats around the whole having to buy minis and then paint minis because he prints them, cuts them out, and then glues it to a base. So it's still, you're cutting that middleman out.
Wait, so he has the bases of...
No, so the way that it's...
Describe it to me.
Remember when we were in primary school and you would have the dice, but you'd have to cut the thing out to make a 3D dice?
Oh, yeah.
But it was like a flat template.
Yeah.
What's it called when it's just the outline? It's called a thing. You know what I'm talking about, though.
I know what you mean now that you said that.
There's a word for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the same thing. So it's actually flat and it has the a semicircle on either end of the picture. So then when you cut it out, you just push it together. So then it's double-sided, but then it creates a circle base.
Oh, okay, so it's not a base like the bases that we have of WizKids.
No, okay. It's not a WizKids base. It's like
just
the cardboard Yeah, that sounds beautifully.
That's awesome. Where does he get them from?
He found them online, all the templates. I'm going to have to confirm with him, but I think he found the templates online, and all of them are minis for Dragon Heist. So there was a place that you could buy just certain ones from the campaign and that kind of stuff. And then he's taken the files. He's taken him to, I think in Australia we have a place called Officeworks. I don't know. It's just a place.
Just a printing place.
A printing place, and he's printed them all. It's the same he also did for the maps. So instead of using a 3D board and a dry erase, he's actually, the maps that you find in the books, the modules, he's blown them up in size, then printed them so we can actually use them in the story as well, instead of him having to draw it out or use his own 3D terrain to make it. It's really clever.
Yeah.
So we had to, for anyone who's played Dragon Heist, it's not a spoiler, it's in the second chapter or first chapter of the campaign, where you go down to, and you have to verse the Kenkus to get back.
Oh, in the warehouse?
Yep, in the warehouse. When we were there, instead of just shooting blankly, he was like, oh, you have to be careful because the Kenkus are now hidden behind crates.
Oh, true.
So we had to move to get vantage points. But it also worked in our favor because I hid behind a pillar where I couldn't be shot.
Nice.
Which is really clever.
Yeah.
And that added was really fun because it wasn't just being able to visualize it. We were able to be in there and use the models in our head to imagine how we would hide or get better vantage points.
Yeah, so does Nick use paper minis for terrain as well?
He doesn't use terrain like we do.
Okay.
It's just...
So when you said with
maps.
the barrels and stuff, it wasn't like it
wasn't a printed barrel, no.
Okay,
So it was just the pictures on the board. So instead of seeing these squares, we saw pictures of barrels and stairs and all that extra stuff. So we could actually visualize where we were and the terrain that was around it. So no, there wasn't printed terrain or paper terrain, but we could visualize where it was.
Yeah, sick.
And we could be like, oh, how tall is this? And you'd be like, oh, it's to your waist. Or for the shorter races, we were like, it's to your eye height. So people could hide and duck or jump on top. And if we had to do a jump on top or jump around something, we'd have to do an athletics check to beat it.
Yeah,
which is really fun.
See,
so
that's
that
awesome.
was different.
Like that's just like a different way to play entirely, because we've played a lot of campaigns. Had a lot of campaigns that were theater of the mind only. Had a lot of campaigns that were just minis, or with a dry erase.
Yep.
Now you have this one, which has like I'm gonna say it's like a projected battle map, which is essentially what it is.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. And then plus you have like the campaign that I'm running, which we use like the full terrain and everything, which terrain. You're still currently printing the big tavern for, not to use, but just because.
It's to use eventually.
Eventually.
But
so
that's for the time being. It's just because I have anyone who knows retail and Christmas is just a no-go for free time.
God no.
Haven't had time to go with it.
As an example, I have 5 days off this month, one of them being Christmas. And I'm not looking forward to it.
I know.
Yeah.
But we've only got, 3? We said you've only got 4 days left of actual work. I've only got 3. So
until Christmas,
we're getting there.
Then we have the day after,
and school holidays
and all that stuff.
Another way that people play is online, and we talked a little bit about that. But I was talking to some other people, and they broadcast like on Twitch. And then other people can join in as well. Yeah, so
with using Roll20 and that sort of stuff.
Which is really, really cool. And I think that's a really clever...
It's like a community-based.
Yeah, it's more community-based. There was also another person that I had that they play in a public space, so other people who just show up on the day can join in. Kind of like Adventure Leagues, but one campaign and anyone can come in on any day and join. So cool. I cannot imagine how many people, because anything more than 5... gives me a bit of a headache as a DM.
But I guess you get to a point where you have to say, oh, sorry, you've come, but start your own table. I can't deal with that.
Which is really, really cool.
That's something that I want to do because we're getting a lot more friends now who want to play. And we've got our experienced friends. We've got people that haven't played and they want to start playing. Yeah. And then you've also got a whole bunch of people that you're playing with in your different campaigns. What I want to start doing in my next run would be, instead of it being a long story, it's just going to be a lot of tiny adventures. So it would be whoever shows up on the day, awesome. Everyone will be invited of 30 people, but if only 6 people can show up, that means 6 people are going to be on the campaign that night, and then just do one-shots that all have an overlying arc of you all level up together and that sort of rewards thing. I think that would be a great way to do it. especially like I said now, like we started off small. We started off with a few friends.
Yeah.
And now we've grown, and then we're getting a bit more of a community going, and it's getting ridiculous at this point.
Yeah, but I wouldn't change it for the world. Love it.
It's awesome. It's sick. Like you said, so the same guy, so Callum.
Yep.
Shout out to Callum, who said that his brother does the public games.
Yes.
He also said that his other friend uses a computerized Surface. So that's something that you wanted to get into.
So it was, I also, along with my dice addiction and our minis addiction, and we did trading cards once, I have addiction with Kickstarter.
Yep.
It's one of my favorite places to buy things like dice. There was one I found a while ago, and they were selling this TV essentially, because you could use it in multiple ways, that would turn down into a table so that you could have your maps on there. But then there's other things in other places. So when I went to PAX, there was a booth that was selling a software that you could have going while you play, and it's essentially just a map, but you can create light sources and you can change the terrain and how it's built, so that there's a wind factor, or there's like a night and day. So if you have anything, it can affect that, and it'll give you notifications and that kind of stuff.
Like an active battle map.
Like an active battle map, which is really, really cool. And then the cool thing about that one as well is that it had a DM's screen and a player's screen. So if you went into a room that had no candles and you had all your players who had zero dark vision, you could see everything that was going on. They couldn't. You could also activate hidden walls. You could activate mimics. You could activate lots of trapdoors, which I think was super clever. And I would buy into that, except we don't have anything that would work like that. I mean, we could buy a projector and project it straight onto
I honestly don't want to do that at all.
It's a lot of extra effort. I don't care for it. But it's interesting.
It's interesting. It's not something that, like I said, I don't want to do that whatsoever. I think for me, when I play Dungeons and Dragons, I want a dry erase, I want some terrain pieces, and I want some minis. Yeah. It's cool, and it's definitely the next step.
Props to people who do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, technology advancement, like we were talking about.
But it's like, then again, like if I was just going to do that, why don't I just get everyone to jump on Roll20 and then we all play that way?
Yes, exactly right. Which is really interesting. So if anyone does play like that,
it's not for me. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's not for me.
If there are people out there who listen who do that, please let us know how much you enjoy that. Do you prefer it more than in physical stuff? Less? What are the problems with it? What are the perks with it? Because we'd love to find out. Because I will say the thing about playing with physical products, as much as it's fun and there's people who have found ways around it, is you can see everything but your character technically hasn't.
Yeah.
So for example, when we were playing the other day and we were in that sewer, we could see ahead how many enemies we were facing / how many doors. So you're trying to subconsciously pretend that you haven't seen that and your character's discovering it for the first time. But you do know that there's those doors.
And there's ways around it. There's like the fog of war mechanic, how you could just put a piece of paper over whatever you've laid out. But I obviously haven't got to that point in my DMing skills.
No, we don't care that much. Well, we love it, but it's fun.
Going back to a physical means of it, we see here that Kayla has commented saying this. And I actually have another friend of mine, Andy, as well, who does this. And whenever their DM has a whole bunch of enemies, and it's not just in these two cases, but whatever, they use Skittles as their markers. Yeah. And the whole thing is they want the DM on Andy's group, for instance, wants his group to be aggressive to get the reward of the Skittle.
Because they get to eat it.
Yeah, because they get to eat it. And they get super upset because if you've taken someone down to like critical mass hit points and then someone swoops in for the kill, they get the Skittle, and then it's like a rambling between the group members. Yeah. And it's like their characters have to like, no, fuck you, you stole my kill.
It's like, that bitch, and then you just take and eat it anyway, and you're like, haha, I did most of the work.
Yeah.
And then someone's like, no, but I did the finishing blow. And
I think the lollies, if I didn't have high blood pressure and couldn't eat sugar, and
you can eat sugar
and didn't spend $1,000 billion on minis and dice,
that is a factor. Yep.
I would say that Skittles is definitely the way to go.
Yeah. It's another one is to people eat while they play D&D. I don't think I've ever met anyone who doesn't. Everyone has snacks, but what's too much eating? Because I know that we eat first and then play.
I just like it. I think it's, I'd rather
you gotta fuel up.
You got to fuel up, and like I'd rather have the the players sit there and enjoy it on a full belly. So I will take the extra 20 minutes at the start to say, everyone just enjoy eating your food now, and then we'll start a bit later.
Yeah. Whereas when we play, sometimes we have snacks on the tables as well, which is fun because especially in places where you're doing heavy role playing and you're not in the scene, you're just sitting there. So having snacks is a nice thing to just nibble on.
It's also like a space requirement. Like, for instance, the table that we have this podcast on is also the table that we play D&D on. Yeah. And it's evolving as... Oh, I'm all burpy from the popcorn from before. Yeah. It's evolving as we play with the needs. Like, I have a side table now for my laptop. I have an elevated battle map so people can go under it to...
There's more space.
Yeah. Yep. I don't think that having... like
I put my garlic bread under there.
Yeah, you put your garlic bread under there. But if we had snacks as well, it's just going to clutter up everything. Yeah. And if we had a bigger table to play on, different kettle of fish entirely.
I will say that when we eventually move out, a big dining room table is something that we're probably going to have to invest in.
No, just on the floor. No. We sit on the floor.
Gross.
We eat on the floor.
You used to make fun of me in high school for sitting on the floor, and now you want to sit on the floor?
Because
I'm telling all your boys that.
You are meant to be an adult, and you weren't.
But you're not. And now we're adults, and now you're telling me to sit on the floor? Wow, hypocritical.
I don't want a table because that requires people to come over, and I don't want people coming over.
That's what D&D's about.
No, at other people's houses.
No, we host here.
And then again... What about hosting? Who should host?
Okay, so that's a really good one.
We have a lot of people. We have people in our community who are traveling DMs. Yeah, like Bob Francis, for instance,
and me,
and you. And do you think that if you're playing D&D, the DM should host always?
No, I think it is about space and all that extra stuff.
And availability.
And availabilities and all that. So for my campaign that I run, it's different every week. So some weeks it was at mine, and then other weeks it was at our ranger's place, and then the other weeks it was at the bard's place. And then I know during summer we're planning on having it at our rogue's place because she has a pool, and it's just an excuse for us to use the pool.
But are you going to play D&D in the pool?
Oh, God, no, because I'm not spending all that money for it to go missing.
So then how is that going to
work? Eat in the pool and then hop out of the pool.
So while you're wet, you're going to be playing a paper-based board game?
Yes.
Interesting.
I'll let you know how that goes. Probably not very well.
I'm going to take inventory of the minis that we own and then be like, we're down 4 Zorns and 2 Towns
You've
cards.
wrecked all the spell cards. Listen, bitch.
Yeah. Look, they're not waterproof.
We discovered that today.
Yeah.
No, so I think it really depends on the space. I think it's easier for the DM to host purely from instead of like lugging the stuff around, but I don't think there's a carnal rule of one person should consistently be hosting.
Yeah, that's
It's
fair.
nice having that one place to go every week, but it's up to the availability. Some people don't even play in houses. They go to a public space like libraries and stuff to play.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting because then you couldn't eat there.
Yeah, you can eat in a library.
Can you eat in the library?
Have you been to a library in the last decade?
No, definitely not in the last decade.
There you go.
Yeah.
Have you been in a library ever?
Yeah, when I was in primary school.
Not the school library?
No, my nan used to take me.
Okay.
Just because your mum works at the library.
Your mum's your dad, so there's
tip tap.
No, that's not that.
It's really interesting places to host, which I think again goes back to playing online beats that purpose because you can stay at home. But does that take away from the experience of meeting with your friends once a week or bi-monthly to...
You've got to stop knocking that dragon down.
He's guarding my dice hoard.
I'm just gonna
No, I just got him good.
Yep. It's going to be there. It's going to be
Fine,
I'll
just play with this one.
When did you get that? Oh, I still have the metal dice that your sister bought me. It's propping up my little setup that I have. I have not used it.
I love my metal dice. I don't know where they are though.
Isn't that red one a metal one?
It is one of them, but not my only metal dice.
You just have a single from a full set.
No, there's another one in there. No, it was just 2 D20s. My friend Ash got them for me.
Okay, all right. Stop breaking the rest of your dice.
Speaking of other ways to play.
We were talking about the online and how it takes away from the
Oh
experience.
yeah, it takes away from the experience.
Before you segue again.
When you play online, no one can judge me for the amount of dice that I have.
That's true.
Doug.
I'm going to judge you regardless because I know you on a personal level.
But
and you explicitly tell me, you're like, hey Doug, guess what? And I'm like, you bought new dice. I bought new dice. It's like I know
Don't
what
take
you're
it away
going
from
to
me.
say before you say it.
I love him so much. But online, 1, no one can judge you for the amount of dice you have, but 2, you can't use minis.
Yeah.
Which would be really interesting, unless everyone has to purchase the exact same minis and the same map and then draw it out beforehand. But then the whole thing about playing online is having a digital screen for that.
I still think that if I had only the online format to play, I would still have a little setup where I would have like
100%.
a dice tray. I would have my character sheet, and I'd also have a mini that I would prop up on my like my laptop, 100%. Or my computer.
Yeah.
And I would still embrace that whole environment with like the headphones on. And then if I hear someone's like on the phone or something, I'll be like, hey, like listen to DM. He's talking about some shit that we do.
What you do?
What you do? I sit on the beat.
Who you talk to?
My friend.
Yeah. So I mean,
I don't think it takes away from the experience. I just think it's.
Let us know if it does take away from the experience. We always like hearing other ways people play. One of the ways that I like to play is with music. I think music's a really important.
Now, like music or like battle music or like orchestral music or like Frozen soundtrack, like what?
Listen, the Frozen soundtrack goes fucking off. Even the instrumental stuff is bangers. And I will use them in my campaign.
I'm going to mute your microphone.
Don't you
when you talk about Frozen from now on.
It's just going to be silence for the rest of the podcast.
I've got
Don't
the
judge
mute button
me.
ready.
I hate you so much.
So if you ever bring it up again, you're just going to be muted.
So lots of people different play. At our Dragon Heist.
Lot of people different play. That's not a sentence.
Why you do this? Why do you judge me? Lot of people different play.
I should get that on a shirt. A lot of people different play.
I hate you.
No, you don't.
This is why we should see other people. Music is important. It adds an ambience. Is that the right word?
This is your story. I'm listening to it.
But whether or not people play with sound effects. So there's the whole Serenescape is another app that I...
Isn't it Sirenscape?
Serenescape.
Syringescape? Singeringscape?
Sing-alongscape.
Shabba-labba-lum-scape?
Escape. Is another way. So it's really, really cool because it adds background noise instead of music.
And with
so
that,
when you're
with
in
that
a
we mean
tavern
like, like the fire crackling.
And it has like
people
background
singing.
people talking, glasses breaking and all that kind of stuff. That's awesome. As a DM, I don't think I have the brain capacity to deal with players, moving minis, and constantly adjusting sound effects.
Yeah.
I think it's super clever. And people who can do that, like... round of applause, because that's a lot of fucking effort. On this app, they found ways to make it even easier, especially when you have preset campaigns like Ghost of Saltmarsh or Dragon Heist. They have each scene, and all you have to do is press play, and then it keeps going. And when this character enters, you press the next play. And so it's very, very simple, and they've simplified it, which is really clever. But that's why I've only put background music on, and anytime it goes from casual adventuring, like campsites, walking through streets, sleeping, it's just one song.
Yeah, so
then
you just play
happens,
like Spotify. You just put
Spotify on, I press shuffle. But when there's a battle, I have a different playlist and I press shuffle on that one. Just so then at least the tension is also in the air as well as in the game, which is really cool.
Yeah, I remember back before we started playing D&D. This was before I met you, actually. The ads, because I've always been into this stuff, right?
Yep.
And so have you. The ads I would always see on Facebook would be like the new Kickstarters of people making those apps.
Yeah.
And the one that I remember, it was like Sirenscape or Sirenscape or whatever it's called, except it was only dragon noises. And it was like a dude, and he was just sitting like on a table, and he's like, and the dragon comes down, and he has a slider, and it's like, it's like, and it's like, and then the fire breathes. Like it was like stuff like that. And I get it. Like it makes a very good atmosphere for like the entire environment. Holy fuck, do I not have that capacity to be like rolling my dice here and then
pressing play, and
like,
then you're also like adding scores and HP, and then you've got to like
I'm a
change
D&D
this.
player. I'm not a DJ. I can't do everything.
I want that on a shirt. I'm a D&D player, not a DJ.
That's awesome.
It's like, I wish I had the setup to do that, and I think one day I vouch to one day be that DM and that invested in my players. Like you see Pinterest online where people get like fog machines to put it on their like.
You used to vape.
thing.
You could just get your little vape. It's like, oh my god, this smog tastes like cotton candy.
It's amazing. props to people that do that. I can't. So just having the 2 different playlists is enough for me. Again, would love to hear from our listeners to see if anyone does play like that, how you manage it. Is it just practice? Do you just dive in?
Well, I'm going to say, like, for instance, like, I use the laptop when I'm playing, as well as like pen and paper, to do both, like take notes and then look up character blocks. But I know, for instance, with iPads and tablets, they have the split screen mode now. So it's really handy because you could just have the character blocks up. What the fuck is that?
It's the ones that I kickstarted.
Right. So it's like you can have the character block up on half the screen and you can have the Sirenscape on the other half of the screen. And you could do it that way. So like technology is getting to that point where it makes it easier. I just don't think I'm going to get to that point.
Yeah.
I support you entirely.
Never say never, though.
As your boyfriend, I support you entirely to pursue your dreams.
Yeah. As being the
but
best
you're a fool,
DM
Harry Potter. And I don't think you should do that sort of stuff.
Speaking of Harry Potter. Different ways of D&D is I've got one of our listeners, Shelley. She is currently playing a Harry Potter themed game.
Expelliarmus!
Besides the one that we talked about last time, which was the Star Wars one. Are you proud of yourself? You like took in the biggest breath I've ever seen to like pump that out.
Oh, my throat hurts so much from being sick.
I'm not an owl.
Can we just roleplay that one scene?
You can't even do it.
For anyone...
Expelliarmus.
That's you. You're the top one. I'm the bottom one. Expelliarmus wasn't that loud.
Anyway. Different ways of D&D is Harry Potter.
What do you mean? That's not a proper sentence. Different ways D&D Harry Potter? 2x2.
Get out. Just get out of my face.
Stop it.
I'm
Okay.
gonna punch you.
So Shelley, I'm sorry to interrupt your portion of the shout out. But please go on about Harry Potter.
Harry Potter, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings. Can you think of any other campaigns or times that you wanna?
There's a Batman one.
Is it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, probably.
Are you making that up?
Yeah. It's probably out there though. D&D's been around since what, the 60s?
No.
80s?
78.
Yeah, so like since like the 40s.
Oh my
so
God.
like which was when World War One was. So pretty much they were playing D&D World War One.
Just stop.
There's probably a Batman D&D campaign out there.
I would be really interested to see that as a campaign.
Like as a standalone book,
Do you play as Batman?
No.
Do you play as
the Bat family? Like you'd be playing
74.
as like... That's what I said. Yeah, 43. Yeah, cool. You would be playing as like Robin and Catwoman and Batgirl.
You play as the main Bat family and fight crime.
Yeah.
That'd be so much fun. Witcher. That's the other one. There was a new one when we said it was really good. I remember when we were still playing at Games Capital, they had the Witcher one had just started, which was really cool. So
does everyone just play as Geralt?
No, I think you play as your own character, but Geralt is an NPC in the story.
Yeah, right.
There's
gross.
There's another one done by so Cyberpunk is another one that I'm aware of. Vampire's a really popular one as well. There's a Warhammer one as well. Remember we saw that?
It's not D&D, but
it's tabletop.
Yeah, it's a tabletop.
It's an
game.
RPG tabletop game.
Yeah, so is WoW. There was a game back in the day. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's called HeroScape.
I hate you so much.
And then the big one, which again was out before I got into D&D. The Power Rangers one, which was the Megaforce.
Really? Is there
live
Power
action.
Rangers?
Yeah.
There you go.
Which was actually pretty cool. I
so
never
then
watched it.
What classifies as RPG tabletop? Can you go as far as doing it as live action, but not LARPing, but actual like running around? Because I was talking to another friend of mine. They used to play out in public, not with pencil and paper, and you would role play as the character that you did, and you'd walk around and run into people, and everyone wore a special ring. So you knew that they were playing and you had to interact with people out in public. And it was just a huge community of people playing all at once.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are we not doing that?
It's really cool.
I want this ring.
You just want it for the ring.
Yeah.
You're like, nah, fuck the role playing. I just want the ring.
Can I steal other people's rings? If I beat the shit out of someone, can I steal their
I
ring?
think that's the purpose of the game. But it's really cool. It's really clever. It takes that whole aspect of we've done as much as we can on pencil and paper and on board.
Yeah.
Let's actually role play it. And so you walk around and you run into people and you still have to interact with them. And I think they were trying to discover a murderer through it all. So it's already a thing. The Office do an episode of it where you try to murder mystery dinners. But instead of it just being a dinner, it's a whole event that runs over the course of multiple weekends.
That sounds sick.
It's pretty cool.
Whenever that happens again, we are definitely doing that.
Yeah.
I want this ring.
It was Gary.
Gary?
Gary.
What is he?
He was the one that was telling me about it.
Oh, the parrot man.
Yeah. It lives in Sydney, so we're not doing that anytime soon. But I thought it was really fucking cool.
That sounds sick.
Yes. So lots of different ways that tabletop has, or D&D
okay,
has
but the question you asked was, what's the difference between LARPing to live action roleplay? Because live action roleplay is what LARPing stands for.
Yeah, it does.
So wouldn't that just be LARPing?
LARPing is, but most of the time LARPing has that stigma of sword and shield and running around in a field and just hitting each other.
I'm just going to push record.
Thank you. I'm just going to be like distracting for a few seconds. Is Sword and Shield in hand?
The Pokemon game? Yep.
Is that what counts as LARPing, or as long as you're role playing, is that LARPing?
I think role playing. Okay. The definition of LARPing is live action
role playing. Yeah.
So I think if you're LARPing as a butcher, you're not going to have a sword and shield.
No.
But
you're still role playing
as a butcher. And I think that what you've described is LARPing.
Yeah.
But not the violent.
The
LARPing.
sword and shield that everyone knows it as.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Does that? It's obviously no longer tabletop because you're not playing on a table.
Unless
but do you think
role
it was
play
inspired?
as a table.
Just get down on all fours. Just wait patiently.
Yeah, it's just like...
Imagine waiting a couple of hours for someone to finally use you to go, all right, I'm going to... Actually, no, I'm not going to do that anymore. And you're like, it's all for nothing.
What if that's their kink, is to be a table?
Don't
kink shaming is my kink.
It's pretty good. But, I mean, it all started from D&D. Would you say that? Would you say
100%.
LARPing originated from D&D? Or do you think it was already a thing that people wanted to do?
I think that LARPing originated from when you're a kid and you pick up a cool stick and you think it's a sword.
Can it be D&D? Can we just say that D&D inspired people to LARP?
Yeah, I reckon anything... D&D is the godfather of the role-playing genre, right?
100%.
We've established that multiple times.
We wouldn't have an RPG franchise...
Yeah. Franchises, yeah.
Without D&D.
100%. So, I'm going to say yes. However, I think there is a clear distinction between
people growing up with sticks in their hands.
No, I mean, I was going to say there's a clear distinction and difference between a tabletop RPG to LARPing. I don't think you can compare the two and say they're the same.
No, no.
You could be LARPing in a Dungeons and Dragons themed universe, but it's still LARPing and it's not Dungeons and Dragons.
Agreed. Or would it be though? If you're using the rules that are in D&D,
but you're
obviously
still
without the dice and that kind of stuff.
But then you're not.
Then it's
using
not
the
tabletop.
rules.
No, but it could still be in the D&D universe.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Back to calling out a old Kickstarter that I used to see before D&D. There was one, and I don't remember what it's called, but it was a Kickstarter for a Bluetooth earpiece that had like an elf ear on it, and a bracelet that had a D20 and like a boggle.
Oh my
thing.
god, that's so cute!
And what it would be is you'd press start on the app, put it in your phone and whatever, and then it would say okay, and then you get to this point and roll your dice, and then you click it, and then it reads like whatever. And it says, okay, you have successfully crossed the river of...
Oh my god, that's so cute.
I think it was an April Fool's joke from back in the day.
Oh,
however, that would be the coolest thing in the world.
Dope. I would love to have a watch. There's a D20 for someone to be like, what's the time? You can be like, 20.
It's like 7.
And they'd be like, what does that mean? You're like...
4.
7-4. They're like, oh, thank you. You're like, no.
It's 9:30 in the morning. It's like, it's completely wrong.
Maybe that could be our first piece of merch.
I just thought of the funniest thing in the world. A Pokemon Go style game, but D&D. So
Isn't that just the Harry Potter one?
Yeah, but you know how in fucking Harry Potter you swipe the fucking wand?
Yeah.
And in Pokemon you spin the ball.
Spin the ball, yeah.
You roll the dice. You roll a D20. So
to hit.
You flick your phone and then you see if you hit Boblin the Goblin.
Yeah.
And
You
if you
D20
do,
to hit.
you get the gold.
And then you
you level up. but you're using the markers in the world.
We're copywriting that. That's ours. We might have to talk
and
to some of
you
our...
could do like the Pokestops or whatever the greenhouses were in Hungry Jacks in Harry Potter. You could just have them as taverns, and so you rest and get your health
it's
back.
a long rest. Oh, that's cute. We're onto something.
Oh my god, this is intellectual copyright right now.
This is
I'm
taking
calling
D&D to like a whole new level.
If we have anyone who knows a person who can create this app for us,
please let us know, because we are onto something.
If anyone knows someone from Niantic, please. This is worth $1 bajillion.
Yeah.
And then you know what you could buy? Better weapons. That could be the microtransactions.
But then no one's I like that. No one's a DM unless the DM also writes a story.
The DM's the game.
Yeah, but then could you make the app work?
Okay, we've just sidetracked this to app talk. Okay, we're going back to app talk. All right. You could make the game what? Because you know how you have quests in Pokemon Go, like catch 40 Rhyhorns or whatever.
You could do that as well. Where you
kill 6 goblins and save
a town.
You could do that. Some of the Pokestops.
Can you imagine the bestiary? Oh, it'd be so cool.
What the fuck do you mean?
So you know the monster manual? But imagine that like Pokemon. We're onto something.
Oh my god.
If anyone wants to buy a share in this.
And then you know how you can get keys in the Harry Potter one? You do keys and an open chest, which gives you better gear.
And you just upgrade your gear. Yes. Oh. You get like cure disease as well. And you get to get spells. Or if you get to choose your class.
So now we don't know what this the topic.
I've got no idea what we're going to classify this. This took a huge derail. Thank you for anyone who's still listening in, because we just got real distracted.
We are at the 51-minute mark, so we'll probably wrap it up soon. As we've lost all recollection.
We're going to write some stuff, and battery died. That was good timing.
Yeah.
So we'll wrap it up. A heads up, there will probably be no podcast next week. We will.
There may be some sort of content.
Be busy. We'll see how we go.
See if we go.
The following week, though, we did druids. We are up to fighters.
Yes. So maybe in a couple of weeks from now, you'll see a fighter-themed episode. Yep. You'll see it on social medias about
some fighter ideas. There's going to be so many fighters.
We'll make a character, a funny character, and post it like we normally do.
Yeah.
Like Peter, who was our druid one.
P1DA.
Peter, yep.
It's supposed to be Panda. I tried to do Panda.
I thought you were doing like Peter, like PETA, like the Pets and Environment Team Against America. You know, like...
Oh! You got it. That's what I was...
How the fuck did you get P1DA and then get Panda?
I wanted to try to spell panda, but I couldn't think of a number that would do the and. So I just went with it. Peter, that's... Yep.
That's what I thought it was.
Yep, that's definitely what I was thinking.
Yeah, okay. So we'll call it now.
Thanks for listening guys. Everyone. We know we got real derailed, but
we might even elaborate on this app idea later on.
Catches.
Bye.